Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Isle of Man in the UK. This is John and Mike's MMA Corner.
Welcome one and all to John and Mike's MMA Corner.
MMA from a different angle.
And before we kick off with obviously our usual saga of laughter and seriousness, professionalism, we're going to start by asking you all to jump onto Facebook, Twitter, the lot really, the social networking sites, and give some of our esteemed colleagues a follow, because their hard work really helps not only us and yourselves, but just MMA grow. So first up we have MMA Scotland. We'd like you to also jump onto UFC Wreckage on Facebook. Their Twitter handle and their website is MMA Wreckage.
We also have MMA UK, and their Twitter handle is We Are MMA UK.
Jump on to Facebook to Fighting and MMA.
We also have on Facebook and Twitter The Real MMA Talk.
And last but not least, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're on Twitter. Can't miss them. If you like a giggle, you like a laugh, jump onto Funny MMA, kind of putting a light-hearted view on the aspects of MMA and the goings-ons.
I thought it was serious.
Exactly. So that's what you want to jump onto. Now what we're going to do is jump straight in to this week's edition. Before I get started, I'm going to mention YouTube and Soundcloud, the two kind of platforms that we have the podcast going out on. Again, jump on, press, you're listening to one of the platforms right now. That's how this is going down. If you are on YouTube, please subscribe, like the video, comment at the bottom, share it, whatever. Same with the SoundCloud, like it, comment, whatever you want to do, just interact with us. We're more than happy to comment back and just enjoy. If you have YouTube but you think I haven't got time to listen to it all, you can go on SoundCloud, you can download it for free, because we're not robbing bastards, we're nice guys like that. And anyway, just wanted to get that out the way, because I always forget to mention it every week, so I'm happy I mentioned it at least this once. Now, firstly, let me just welcome back from his R&R, his break, his little trip away, his time off. Hi, Mike.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
I've got Mike back. Go on.
I feel like a guest.
I know, you're on the phone, it's weird, isn't it? I feel like I should have done an introduction for you or something, but, you're not important enough. Anyway.
Yeah.
But it's good to have Mike back to talk and have a bit of a laugh and have a discussion about what's been going down recently. We are going to mention first and foremost the guests that we've got on, because it's a new platform or new structure to the podcast. We are going to do our chit chat and our chin wag, and then separately we're going to have the guests on for the week. I'm going to put them all on SoundCloud and YouTube, and you can listen to the guests there. So we've got this week from the Shamrock FC card that's going down, Kevin Engel, who's the main event against Kyle Kurtz at Shamrock FC. You got Josh Weston, he's fighting Eric Irvin. Then we have Coltin Cole, he's fighting Brad Johns. We also have Tyler Claussen against Matt Helm. We've got both of those guys on. Oh man, this is the best one. Okay, so we've got Erion. Do you know what? Erion will forgive me for this, because he's a nice guy and we got on really well, and even he admits his name is a little bit of a mouthful. Okay, so I'm going to try it again. Erion Zekthi, and then we've got Shaun Scott. Erion's fighting. Oh, it's Cortavius, Mike. That's a real legit name. Romanus. Then you got Shaun Scott. We have him on, and he's taking on Kevin Roper. All those guests, they'll be on as part of the package at the on the YouTube and SoundCloud. So go and listen to those guys, hear what's going on with them. Shaun Scott and I talked for quite a while. Really intellectual talker. It was good. It was actually a really good conversation. So now, Mike, now the dust has settled a little bit, UFC 196 happened. We had Nate Diaz and the Conor McGregor card. Now, as a whole, what did you think of the card?
I actually thought it was all right. It needed. There was fights that needed other fights. You know what I mean? Some fights were not fantastic. Other fights were, lift up to the anticipation, I would say.
Yeah, I would say that as well, because I'll tell you one fight that was, I'll rephrase it, the most disappointing fight in the card was the fight I think everyone expected to see blood everywhere and a massive war. Diego Sanchez, Jim Miller.
Yeah, I think what you had there was you had the two guys fighting to avoid a pink slip.
Yeah, I think that too. I think I think they fought each other.
I think, you know, when you get two fighters fighting to not lose, you take away that excitement a little bit. You can do, and I think that's what it is. You know, they've got themselves in a position because let's be honest, they haven't got the most fantastic record of late. Even though they would be in definitely my top 20 favourite fighters to watch. You know, it's a shame one of them had to lose. Like, you know, but I think that's what it is. It's knowing that pink slip is probably looming. No one wants to get their name on it, so
yeah. If they fought each other, say 2 years ago, you'd probably would have got a different fight, and you would have probably got the classic, a potential classic. But because, like you say, the place where they both were at that time, they just couldn't afford to lose. But the thing was, they played it safe in a way, but they also didn't play it, I felt, enough to want to win it as well. It sounds weird, but
I know what you mean. I think it's one of those ones. If you're going into the last round and you know, and your cornerman sort of says, right, this is tight, this fight, then it should be a case of, right, okay, I'm going to leave it on the line because you know, the last thing, if you're going to lose, at least lose in a really exciting finish to the fight. You know, it's because that might just save you, might do. But unfortunately, it didn't. You know.
No, it didn't.
I also think there was a little bit of tiredness involved in there as well. I think.
I'll tell you a fighter that put on a finish for me that is not talked about enough. And it's one man called Nordine Taleb, and he absolutely starched Eric Silva. And
with a karma punch.
They caught that kick and then just literally levelled him. That was beautiful.
It sort of seemed to hit him up high on the forehead, like. Yeah,
it was bang on the forehead. Yeah.
But what I liked was now, if there was anyone sitting there, you know, saying to me, you know, I've got a lad or something who wants to get into fighting or whatever, you know, I would say, right, watch him, because he had his fundamentals and his, you know, the basics down to a T. He was very traditional and by the book, you know. Yeah,
well, he's a TriStar boy, you see, and he's I tell you what, he's a hell of a
talent. But, you know, he didn't have his own flavour to it, you know, he was very much like, if you were to instruct fighting, you know, this is what we want you to do, blah, 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 it was almost like he was drilling.
I tell you what, it was a performance that I was really impressed with. But for me, it also cemented Eric Silva's place. I think Eric Silva's never going to be that guy that he. Remember, you've got to think. What 2 years ago? Let's say 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, Eric Silva was looked at as the next animal. The guy who's going to probably go up and make his way to the title shot. And now you look at him and you think.
Yeah, but his piece changed colour as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, well,
he doesn't be green anymore.
Yeah, he's on different meal plans, let's say.
Yeah,
but
also, I mean, we saw him fight the zombie, wasn't it? Was it zombie or
who
was it that starched him?
You mean? Oh, not Matt Brown.
No, before.
Eric Silva.
Yeah. Was it zombie?
Oh, Stun Gun.
Oh yeah, Stun Gun. Yeah, he starched him, didn't he? You know. So we think there's a couple of things there. But there was a shitty move, and there's one thing I don't like is don't offer a hand in. You know, in.
Touching gloves. Yeah.
Yeah, you know that.
Don't do a Floyd Mayweather.
It's a fucking shit move. You know, it's.
I don't get that. I don't get why he did that.
It doesn't mean to say that you should do it. You know, I just think it was shitty. But as I said, it was karma. You know, I thought just when you get started.
Yeah, it was. And the thing is, that finish by Taleb is just going right under the. I think that's going right under the carpet. In the sense of not many people are even recognising it.
Let's be honest, right? Okay, so without saying any of the results yet, because somebody might not have heard.
You mean like a corpse?
There were a couple of fights at the end of the card that no fight is going to get.
Yeah.
Being heard, you know, all the news space was used up, shall we say, on other subjects.
Yeah, it was. But then again, you know, it's a shame. But I was another fight. I tell you what, another fight as well. I forgot to mention earlier on was the Justin Skago against Salas. The dude had been out for 18 months or something like that.
Against Starlo or something, wasn't it?
And then he goes in and gets takedown, beautiful grappling, finishes with like ground and pound from the back, and he gets the victory. And that was a hell of a performance, beautiful finish. A guy we've had on before, James Lynch, he was at the card. He's a fellow Canadian. He had the pleasure of speaking with him and stuff as well. And it was one of those moments. It was nice to see him come back. And he looked like he'd never left the cage. That was a great performance as well for him. Next one up, though. Here you go. This fight was okay. The third round showed like they were both a bit tired, but this dude hits like a freight train, in my opinion. Bahad Azada, you remember he fought Brendan Thatch?
Yes.
Now, Brendan Thatch, for me, you know, he is with Jim Miller on that pink slip.
Well, you see, he again, I can't believe people get to the UFC and their area of their, you know, part of their game is still not sided away.
Yeah.
You know, like he had a triangle, was it?
Head and arm choke, yeah.
Yeah, head and arm, yeah, and you know, he didn't know how to finish.
Defend it, you mean?
No. Didn't he have a submission himself?
Oh, sorry, sorry. I thought you meant he didn't know how to. Yes.
Yeah, but he didn't know how to. You know, he didn't know how to finish it, or something, or he wouldn't commit to it. Like, and I just think to myself, like, surely, you know, like, okay, I know some people just don't like jiu-jitsu and some people don't like striking. Well, unless you can totally dictate what happens in a fight, and there's not many people that can do that.
Yeah.
There's every chance you're going to have to do the bit that you don't like, you know, and you've at least got to be able to survive that. But you know, it was. If he had just spent a little bit longer in practice, you know.
To be fair to him, like his past 3 fights he's lost, and he lost obviously. He lost to this one, then he lost to Gunnar Nelson, and then Benson Henderson. It's not like he lost to nobodies, but at the same time, all 3 of them were submissions. You know, 2 rear naked chokes and a head and arm choke.
But didn't he against Gunnar? Didn't he come unstuck on the striking?
Yeah, he got dropped, and then Gunnar just swarmed on him.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with the head and arm choke at the end in this one, he didn't even defend it. He was gassed. He was absolutely exhausted, and it looked like I'm not saying he gave it to him, but he just didn't fight back enough. He just was like, "I'm gone. I haven't got it in me." And
the thing is, though, with Batch, it seems like he just seems to have that. You know, when now, I'm not saying the guy doesn't work. I'm not saying that. But you know when you get people that are like gifted fighters?
Yeah.
It's almost like he's a gifted fighter that's, you know, because he's gifted, he's not maybe trying as hard with everything.
He is a good fighter, that's the thing. He's a talented fighter, very much so.
And I would think to myself, like, is he doing everything he should be doing in the gym?
Yeah.
You know, and who am I to question him? I'm just...
Well, that was a potential.
Something I've noticed that I've still because I do rate him. It's because that's why I question him. You know,
he trains with Kat Zingano and Neil Magny, and I think they train in Denver as well, which is up in altitude, which is what's more surprising. But you know, this fight again was another potential pink slipper for both guys because you know both of them were on a 2-fight losing streak.
Yeah, dangerous.
And that showed, like, you kind of saw which guy wanted it more. Now, I think for Brendan Thatch, go back to that regional scene, you know, go back to those other shows.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, like, you know, because, like, when I said, like, in the UFC, you should have all your box ticks, you know, all your boxes ticked. I don't believe he has. You know, I don't think that his jiu-jitsu game is there yet to be able to compete in the UFC level.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying you should be tapping black belts, but you know what I mean. You should at least know some of the basics.
He's only he's 30 years old. I don't see a problem with him going away for a year and going off, working on some of that fundamental stuff, working on some bits and bobs, going on the regional scene, getting a few good wins under his belt, and then coming back. He could easily do that.
And the good thing is when you get your ground game, so that it's at a level that's respectable, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could then concentrate more on your striking, you know, and commit to your striking.
Yeah, but the striking bit's not the problem, that's the thing.
Takedown and all that, you know, all the time.
The thing is, his striking game's solid for Brendan. He has got a really good striking game, but, you know, it's...
Oh, yeah, but what I meant was, because his ground game isn't good enough, shall we say, you know, if he could just get it up to a slightly better standard, he could totally commit on his striking.
Yeah, when in the fight, yes.
Takedown. Yeah, you know, and...
It is a shame. It's crazy. One of the fights then we're going to move on to, I think, is... Look, you've got... All right, do you know what? We'll get these other fights out of the way before we mention this fight. Okay, look, you got Miesha Tate against Holly Holm, all right?
Yeah.
Well, that was an interesting fight. And what I mean by interesting was, it wasn't how I thought it was going to go, in the sense of the style of the fight. But the thing was, I still enjoyed it, which was the really strange. I still enjoyed it. I found it very intriguing.
It was good. It was. I mean, the amount of times I had people say to me like, "Oh, Holly's going to smash her," and I said, "Well, not necessarily." And they said, "Yeah, but the other girl can't beat Ronda Rousey, and this one beat Ronda Rousey in 2 rounds." And I'm like, "Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
No.
Horses for courses." You know, I thought there was a very good chance that Miesha Tate would have won this fight. Would I have bet my house on it? No, of course I wouldn't. But, you know, and you know what? It was nice to see Miesha win, but it's a shame to see Holly lose, sort of thing. Like, you know, I like both girls, but
well, that's the thing. You got Miesha Tate. She was a former Strikeforce champ, and now she's a UFC champ. You know, she's come.
So she was a champion before women's
Ronda
MMA.
Rousey. Yeah.
So.
And she never gave up. She kept coming and she kept coming and she kept coming and that's, you know, that's something I take off to the girl. Like, she kept pushing. The problem she always had was, it's almost like Cain Velasquez and June Dos Santos. Cain was always in the way of June Dos Santos, and sadly for JDS, time has caught up with him with those wars. Luckily for Miesha, she hasn't had that problem. She's been able to get her wins under her belt.
And somebody else got rid of the obstacle in the way.
Yes, exactly. And Holly Holm is a different kettle of fish. And Miesha, do you know what? Her game plan, her movement was absolutely spot on, because in that fight, she did the opposite of Rousey. Rousey came in, literally ran into Holly's fists, which was perfect for Holly, because Holly just 1-2 or one strike, step away, and then reset. With Miesha, it just didn't happen. And Miesha, you know, she was patient from the outside, took her time, was not in range of the kicks either. She was just out of range of everything, would take her time, and then, like, second round, she nearly stopped it in the second round with that takedown and that back and forth.
I think it's the best Miesha I've ever seen.
Do you know what? It was a very calculated and beautifully
she stuck to the game plan, and she showed you to never ever give up in a fight, because I'm not sure of the scores. I think they were fairly even.
They said it was going to be a bit of a draw. It was a draw up till then. And I had it 3-1 Holly. I had
Holly slightly ahead.
Yeah, I had it 3-1 Holly. I had Holly first round, obviously Miesha second round by a mile. You know, you could argue maybe Miesha for a 10-8 if you were going to be that. No.
Yeah, I did actually think. Well, to be honest with you, in fact, that round was scored 10-8. across the board by all judges.
So that's why I think it was a draw, because I think you give round 3 to Holly and round 4 to Holly, and then 5, before the choke incident happened, I still had it as Holly because Misha just couldn't get her game in, and you know what? It was beautiful. It wasn't an exciting fight again. It wasn't like...
it was one of those ones, it shows you what hard work, determination, and never die attitude gives you.
It does.
Because, Misha Tate must have thought, Ronda Rousey's not getting beaten. She must have thought to herself, like, I can't,
I'm always going to be second best.
Ronda Rousey's not losing to anyone else.
Yeah.
It'd have been easier to have walked away and got into films or something.
Well, Misha was going to probably retire if she lost. If she lost, she probably would have. That'd been Misha gone. Like.
Yeah. And to be honest, I actually thought there was half a chance she was going to retire if she didn't get this fight.
Yeah, she did say that. She said it anyway.
Yeah.
And you can understand why. You can understand it because she had,
and she just made her first film with Holly, I believe. Holly and
Cyborg. Yeah, it's a very low budget. It's not a mainstream. It's a budget.
I don't think there was a budget actually.
No.
I think it was bring your own lunch, wasn't it?
And the irony is, in the film, Misha Tate chokes out Holly Holm. Yeah.
It's been done. But I tell you what, she nearly got that fight over in a second.
She did. Super close, wasn't it? It was super close.
Yeah. That round had been a little longer, maybe,
So now the problem you've got is Misha's champ, and who's next for Misha? Now, Dana White has said... Well, I'm sorry, before I even start, suddenly, Misha wins. Miss Ronda Rousey pipes up and says, I suppose I should get back to work. But, let's not forget... Prior to Misha winning, Ronda Rousey stated you cannot ask her any questions about fighting because Holly was champ. When Holly was champ, Rousey said nothing. As soon as Tate wins, Rousey perks up a bit, and I'm like, do you know what? I still
like to see what Ronda Rousey comes back.
Do you know what? It's not that. I suddenly like you less, Ronda, because I really start to find that your personality it's coming out as a person that you aren't that much of a game person, because you should have been keen as mustard to fight Holly Holm again.
I would have liked to have seen that. Sort of like, being kicked out of the gym, like go and rest,
Yeah.
Where she's just trying to get back there so she can get back in there and revenge it. It's obviously I didn't want to see her striking too early or anything like that because of the knockout, but doesn't mean that I didn't want her knocking on the door asking to come in. Grabbing the gloves and turning up there and then saying no, get out, go home.
So Dana said Rousey and Misha's next.
He does go back on his word from time to time.
He does
indeed.
Said
so far that Rousey's first.
It does, but I don't agree. I don't agree with it myself. What is your thought on that?
Well, I honestly believe that I would give Holly Holm a rematch.
See, I would as well, because I think Holly was winning the fight, and I think, do you know what?
Oh, it was close. It was technical.
Yeah, it was close,
And it gives her an opportunity to work on that little bit of, that was the only place where she was coming unstuck, was the, she didn't really have an awful great deal of takedown defense in the end, unfortunately,
but the thing is...
Misha's wrestling has got a lot better,
no, Misha's got very good wrestling because she wrestled in high school.
See, what you've got is, with Misha, you've got somebody who's battle-hardened.
Yeah.
And she's been around there. She's fought the who's who, so...
But the pair of them...
She hasn't beaten everyone, but she's been in with pretty much everyone,
But if you look at them, the pair of them at the end of the fight, neither of them were really...
it looked like they've been in a fight.
They weren't that bad. Like, Holly had a bit of damage on her face from the second round with those elbows and damage from the ground and pound.
Yeah, but nothing bad.
Nothing bad. Like, if you probably saw Holly now, you'd probably see a little bit of bruising, but nothing that's stopping her probably going to the gym.
Probably just red eyes from a few tears. But,
but that's it. So I wouldn't do Ronda, because I'm like, look, I know Ronda was a champ and she got starched, but the thing is...
I'd still let Ronda... I'd almost let her sit out
A year?
Maybe September comeback.
Later? I'd say the one
Yeah,
before one.
you know, like,
Don't worry about it.
You know, like the last quarter of the year sort of thing.
You've also... So what do you do then? You've got... Because let's think about it. And look, Amanda Nunes on the same card beat Valentina Shevchenko. Now, to be fair, Shevchenko went in and she has fought her first 2 fights in the UFC, bless her, are against not breaking opponents. She's fighting like the lions of that division. You know, she gets straight away. Her first one, Sarah Kaufman, and she comes in short notice, gets a split decision. Right, credit to her on that one.
Yep.
And then she gets Amanda Nunes, and she lost a decision to Amanda Nunes. So it shows how tough.
Whilst laid into it, like.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got to think like
finishing the fight.
Like
that was a perfect example of if a fight didn't have a time.
Yeah.
You know, if it was a street fight, yeah.
What if it was a 5-rounder?
Nunes was going to lose that.
Well, imagine it was 5 rounds.
But the tide was turning, you know, fast.
So, so you got to think to yourself, right? So you got Amanda Nunes. She's, you got Amanda Nunes, Kat Zingano. I know she's been out for a year, but Kat Zingano, to be fair, she did have surgery and stuff like that, and you know she had injuries.
You know, I wouldn't mind seeing that on a fight night card. You know, like have it. Ideally, what I'd like to see is if you're going to be next for a title fight and you've never been in a 5-round fight in the UFC, then you should headline the fight before.
It would help, yeah. It would help.
It gives you a chance for 5 rounds, and it's good exposure. So you could have that fight in Brazil or something like that, or even in America, down in Texas somewhere or whatever. You know what I mean? On a fight night, and you know, stick them on the main event, like you know.
Yeah. I think for me personally, because the way that
because I believe Kat deserves another, at least another one fighting back.
I think one more fight, yeah, because like to be fair, she did her last fight. She lost to Ronda, so it's one of them ones where you think
in a moment of panic.
Yeah,
you know, what I'm going to do is happening.
Yeah.
So she needs to go away, get a fight that's against somebody else who's in a very similar situation. That's like one fight away. You know, she just needs to prove herself a bit more. After that fight, I don't believe she wins the title.
I'll tell you what I'd like to do. If it was me picking the fights, I would like to put in Kat Zingano, Juliana Pena, and then I would have Miesha Tate, Holly Holm rematch. And as for Amanda Nunes, I don't know, maybe Betch Carrera or I'd probably do Betch. If not, I would do, can't do Ronda. If I'm leaving Ronda out of the situation, I'd probably do those fights.
Yeah. I think Ronda needs to stay away till September, October time. Yeah,
those are the next 3 fights I would do for those girls. Now I don't know what fight's going to happen, but that's what my thoughts are on it for the fights and matchups. But then again,
I would give Holly the rematch. I think she definitely deserves the rematch. People have had rematches for less.
A lot less, yeah.
And you know what? Props to her as well. She never tapped, you know.
No, she went straight to sleep, yeah.
Went to sleep like a championship, like, you know. That's what I do. And, you know, you could... When's 200? Is 200 too close?
Possibly. It's possibly too close. I don't know what the medical suspension is for Holly Holm because she went to sleep as well. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But let's look at the other fights. Firstly, I'll tell you what, the light heavyweight division had a chance for someone to stand out and make a name for themselves. And if I'm honest, Latifi, Vellante, Anderson, and Lawler didn't do it.
No.
You know.
No. I think for the winners of those fights, nobody climbed.
I think they fight each other. I'd put the two of them against each other, the winners.
Yeah. But, you know what I mean? Like, no one climbed up the ladder at all.
No. They didn't do anything to me that even...
No, didn't set the place on fire.
No.
You know, which, Latifi, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's not fighting a no one, but, yeah, you know, I don't know.
It's a tough one now.
A shame.
Yeah, the main event, though, was
so
beautiful.
Yeah,
it was beautiful.
I think I actually got a little bit more excited after the cancellation of
Rafael dos Anjos.
Yeah.
And, I did. Straight away.
And putting Diaz in, because it just seemed to me, I thought to myself, I'm going to see a fun fight,
But it's not even a fight, it's before the fight. Straight away I was like, if you're having them two fight each other,
it's going to be shits and giggles.
You have to do a press conference, it's epic, because you know what Diaz like, you know what McGregor's like, and I think Diaz got a little bit into Conor's head before it all, and it showed when they did the stare down before the weigh-ins, the Thursday before the weigh-ins, when Conor kind of punched Diaz's hand out the way, and you were like, Conor's never reacted like that with someone else before.
He doesn't actually, touch.
He didn't touch him. He didn't. Mike,
he's always very careful to...
Diaz did not touch him.
No, sorry, I mean Conor.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't sort of, touch. He pops fingers and he'll say a lot. But this one, you never, when he does those kicks?
Yes.
He sort of tries to do ankle taps and stuff like that. He's always very careful not to kick. You know what I mean? Whereas this was a definite slap. I mean, can you just imagine if he broke a bone in the back of Diaz's hand?
Yeah. Exactly, that's what I mean. The hand is made of tiny bones. It's really easy just to crack one. Super easy.
Your back of your hand can't take anything.
No, that's why they put so much padding on there, because they're just... hands are flimsy. That's it, folks. Your hands and feet are made of tiny bones. They're flimsy little things. The fact that people punch with them is actually quite crazy. You should just be hitting with your elbows and knees.
Your hands are actually binded. When you wrap the hands, you've actually got... a lot of diagonal cross sections that are literally just holding that hand together, and because the bones are in line, that's why they can take the whack. It's it's like squeezing an egg. You can squeeze an egg from point to from its longest axis, but to try it the other way across, and it's going to break.
Let's go on then. Look, the performance wise, I really enjoyed the fight. A lot of people were saying Conor McGregor was, he was absolutely beasting Diaz. In my opinion, yes, he did win the first round, but the problem was people didn't see how many punches and kicks that Conor was thrown with 100% was missing, and how many punches Diaz actually rolled with. Diaz was rolling with some of them punches, so a lot of the power was deflected away from the movement that he did. A lot of people weren't even acknowledging that because he don't know enough, to be fair. And Diaz got cut. Diaz has a lot of scar tissue. Diaz probably will get cut in every fight he has.
And at the end of the day, so what? A cut, you know what I mean? It's a cut,
He'll always get cut on those. Yeah, he's got loads of scar tissue.
I remember when I used to watch the boxing, there was a chap from Britain called Billy Schwer. Christ, he'd get cut at the weigh-ins, He'd cut so easy, Some people just do, It's not here, not there. But the fight itself, I mentioned it a bit to you before. There wasn't enough kicks from Conor. There's basically a weapon there that
leg kicks. You mean, yeah.
Anything really, you know what I mean? It's for me, he just didn't kick enough. He didn't kick enough. He sort of seemed to bin the kicks, and everyone was sort of saying, "Oh yeah, he's going to be." Well, I say everyone. Conor was saying it. "Oh, you're heavy on that front foot and all that." I'll kick it from under here and all that. Well, I don't remember seeing a lot of that.
No, I didn't see a lot of it either. And the thing was, in the second round, Diaz kind of, weathered the storm for the first round and went out there and he just started to throw a bit more combinations. Did the Stockton slap, got him with a few slaps, got into McGregor's head a bit, and he just started to pick McGregor apart. And McGregor just was literally lost. He was like, why am I not winning? And it was kind of like, do you know what?
Yeah, it's. I think it's a bit like when you have that much pressure on yourself to do well. When all of a sudden things don't start going right, it's hard to drag yourself out of that. you start to tire very quickly, and also the way that he was fighting, like again, when we spoke, he had that crouch down sort of overhand, the big looping shots that he was trying to land. When they don't land, it just saps your energy, and Conor gassed very quickly. When you think that Conor had a fight camp.
Yeah, he had a full fight camp. He hadn't cut weight. He was full. He was basically walking around what he was weighing. Had a full fight camp in his best condition, and he was prepping for a 5-round fight already. So you got to think, if he was fighting Rafael dos Anjos and he was doing what he did there, I'm not being rude, dos Anjos would literally have just tore through, because look at the pace and the relentlessness Rafael dos Anjos put on against Anthony Pettis. He just mauled him for 5 rounds. Conor he's in for a shock, in my opinion, if he wants to fight dos Anjos, if he thinks he's going to be able to handle that kind of pressure, because Diaz was just relaxed and like, yeah, it's cool, I'm fine, I'll just pick you off in my own time. And when he wobbled him with the 1-2s, everyone was kind of like, whoa, he's wobbled. And that was I think that was one of the biggest things. Was look, he took full on in the face shots from Chad Mendes, didn't even flinch.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden Diaz lands a couple of 1-2s, and you just start to see McGregor, not chinny, but he's wobbled by these shots, and you're like, whoa, like that was a bit of a surprise. I think people aren't mentioning that enough. It's like, you've got to take a note that he's a bit wobbled by them strikes.
It was the first time we've seen him in the UFC get properly rocked.
Yeah. And then he shot in for what was a really poor attempt at a double leg. Like, for folks
I don't know. Yeah, there was. He seemed to. I like to use the term, shot from the changing room. Yeah.
Well, no, it's not that. It's the fact that his head was not even on either side of the legs. It was not on either side of the thighs. It was straight down the middle. He didn't cut the angle. He just dived in.
Yeah, and then basically almost gave Diaz his back.
But do you know what? There was in the first.
Diaz would have got it anyway.
Well, Diaz,
Well, he didn't go straight to it. Like,
No. Diaz got the choke, and then he transitioned, and then he then he got into mount, and then he got into the, got the five shots in. Then all of a sudden, Conor McGregor turns over and finished him.
Now I don't think. Yeah. Now there's also been people slating Conor's ground game online. I don't believe that he's got a bad ground game. I think that his brain was scrambled at that point. I think he was scrambled in 2 ways. I think he was scrambled from the shots, and I think he was also because he was worried, And when you're worried, you don't think straight. That's why you got to stay calm, I think worry puts you under pressure.
Well, I don't know if it was scramble. It was more the sense of, did people not realise that Nate Diaz is a legit high-level black belt in jiu-jitsu?
Oh, Christ, he'll be
Diaz
one of the better fighters, a jits in the game,
he's an absolute animal. And, I'm not being funny. Anyone goes on the ground with Nate and Nick Diaz as well, you're going to be in for a nightmare. I don't care how good Conor was, Nate's better on the jits game, full stop, flat out.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. In fact, I wouldn't mind actually seeing something like, Gunnar Nelson and one of the Diaz brothers, fight.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Well, do you know what? I don't know if I would. After the Damian Maia fight, I kind of went, do you know what? How good is Gunnar on the ground then? Is he one of them ones where he's pretty good, but then when it gets to the best of the best, he's not the best?
Damian Maia's not a good marker for your ground game, to be honest with you, because
you're always going to look bad.
Everyone's going to look bad against Damian Maia on the ground. I think, because let's be honest, would you have Diaz against Damian Maia? No, they might know enough to survive against Damian Maia. you know, well, with it being MMA jiu-jitsu rather than just straight out jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But no, it's
Okay, what would you do next then for Nate and Connor?
Nate and Connor. Well, Connor, I don't want to see him back at 145. I'd like to see him go at 155.
Well, who's he fighting?
I think he needs to have a fight first before he fights for the title now.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be somebody at 155. They'll be jumping at a chance to fight him now.
See, I don't want to see him at 145, but I've said before, I feel he has to go down there to defend the belt.
Well,
to kind of.
Yeah, but at the same time, yeah. I mean, he hasn't quite cleaned out the 145s, but at the same time, I think 145 just murders him too much. Like you know,
it does. But the problem you've got is it would help his kind of path in a way if he goes down there, defends the belt, because he's not defended the belt yet. And it does help defending a belt. If you can go down there, defend his belt.
Yeah. Well, put it this way: if he went back down there, fought Frankie Edgar and let's say he beat Frankie Edgar convincingly,
yeah,
he could then go straight to 155 and fight RDS.
He can fight Rafael, but the problem is, if he doesn't fight, if he goes straight to 155, he has to relinquish his 145 title. He has no championship to his name now, so it's almost like he's starting to build. He'll have to build himself back up again to get a title fight. And I still think there's some nightmare fights for him 155 that, you know, I know 155 is meant for him, but I'm not being rude. Khabib, Ferguson, you know, these guys, I know they're fighting each other, but either one of them is horrible fights for him. The pair of them are just horrible matchups for him.
Yeah, like, well, Khabib and Ferguson will actually fight in the not too distant future.
I can't wait for them to fight each other.
I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, either of those could be... not fun.
Yeah. Like I have nothing against Connor in that fight. You know, as a person, I think obviously he trash talks, and the thing is, people don't realise.
I think he will do him good. I think he will do everyone good.
No.
Because
what I was going to say was he trash talks because he gets paid via pay-per-view. And if he every pay-per-view that's sold, he gets a cut of that. So it makes sense for him to trash talk his opponent, sell tickets, and get that pay-per-view out there because he makes more money from it. So I don't mind too much when he does trash talk because after the fight...
No, I think it's fun.
Yeah, because after the fight...
I mean, alright, there's a couple of things that I'm not too keen on.
Yeah.
I didn't like it when he started... Like, there's two things you shouldn't talk about. You shouldn't talk about a man's money...
Yes.
And a man's woman.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, a man's woman or his family.
Yeah.
So you don't talk about his family. You can talk about his brother, because his brother's in the game as well.
Yeah, you don't have to get too
you
personal.
can't talk about a man's family and you can't talk about his money. And when he started talking about his money, I don't think you should do that.
No.
You know, I thought that was a bit wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too. But what I mean is, after the fight, though, he's very gracious. He accepts.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because you see then it's an act. Yeah, it's like Bisping. Bisping puts the act on, and then afterwards, you know, he'll be gracious. He'll talk, blah blah blah, and it's just because you know it's about making that money, and it's fine. It's prize fighting.
Right, you got a lot of people that say they don't like what he does, but you know what? They're not picking up the same checks.
No, and look, Muhammad Ali did it against Sonny Liston to sell the first fight because, you know, let's go back then. They were two African Americans fighting for a heavyweight title. That, you know, back then, the way the world was and the way the mentality was, people weren't that keen on watching that because, I'll be honest, like you know, in America especially, it was all about the white man winning and stuff like that. And, you know, you had, I think it was Floyd Patterson before there winning, but, you know, he had to sell that fight. Like, you got to think, how crazy is it that Muhammad Ali had to sell that fight? He had to put a lot of effort in to get seats on bums to go and watch that fight.
Yeah, it's
and that's all it is. So you got to think, all people are doing is taking a little note, going, look, he sold fights by going.
And I tell you what, right? The people that are moaning about Conor will miss him when he retires.
They will, because the money that he is a great addition. He is. I've no problem. What he's doing for the sport is actually a benefit for the fighters.
Oh, it's a benefit for everyone.
It is.
You know, it's like Diaz got
$500,000.
500 grand, I think. Yeah. He's never been paid 500 grand before.
No, he was on 2020.
You know, so
Well,
you know, yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure he is pleased that Conor's around.
Yeah.
To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the Diaz brothers actually like Conor McGregor, and Conor's clearly stated that he likes Diaz brothers.
Yeah.
You know, because they are fighters. All of them are fighters.
Yes,
You
exactly.
know, fighters. I don't mean. Yeah, okay, right. There might be 500 odd fighters signed to the UFC.
But they will fight anyone, anywhere.
But do you know what? Only half of them are fighters.
Yeah.
You know.
Not even
There's
half,
an awful
maybe.
lot of sportsmen, shall we say?
Yeah. So look,
You know.
that was that card. It was. Do you know what?
It was all right, actually.
It was an all right card.
I
There
mean,
was-
let's be honest. Like, you're watching it, just waiting for those last two fights to come on.
Yeah.
You know,
I think-
it was enjoyable. You know?
I think the results actually helped deliver. Because the underdogs won. They were on the betting side. They were the underdogs, and this year it seems to be all about the underdogs. Most of the underdogs are winning the fights of late. It seems, and it's quite a surprise. It's quite refreshing as well, I suppose. And you know, we'll see what happens in the future with the guys, and the girls. Let's go on to the Titan FC card that was on that week, the same weekend. It was actually on Friday. I'll tell you what, beautiful production. Happy it's back. I tell you what, some interesting results. You had, remember Jose Torres? He was meant to fight. He was meant to fight the last Titan card and cancelled. Finally, he got his pro debut. Went out and won first round, guillotine choke. Well, made up for him. You know, a lot of hype, a lot of potential with him. We'll see what happens. You had, I tell you what, the best performance of the night, and the guy who could potentially be shot straight into the UFC before even having a fight at a title is Grant Dawson, who fought Robert Washington. Now that dude is an absolute monster. He mauled Robert Washington. Like, that was just mauled him. Like, how Robert got to the second round is gratitude. That is, I'm grateful for his toughness, because
if you listen to his
post-fight interview,
his little speech after the fight, it sounds like he's been harassing Sean Shelby quite a lot to get him in the UFC. So I think you're right. I think he might just be fastballed straight across.
Well, I was conversing.
I mean, this guy, I think is he 8 or 9-0 or something?
Yeah, 9-0 now, and he trains with Glory MMA. Trains at Glory MMA with James Krause and Zach Cummins and all that lot.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
has he finished like 8 first rounders? Or something?
Yeah. He's just steamrolling people.
Yeah.
And the thing
now,
is,
this is
go on.
Yeah, for any would-be fighters that want to get to the fast track to the UFC, you've got to finish your fights.
Yeah. But the thing is,
That's what the UFC they want finishers.
He's got good talent as well. He's actually quite a talented fighter. He mixes stuff up.
You know, he's young.
He's a nice kid. He's a nice guy as
well.
well.
You know what I mean?
I like Grant Dawson. I've spoken to him before. He's a nice guy, and you've got, he was meant to. I spoke to, like I said, Jeff Arnson, the Titan FC CEO, during the fight, and I said, title fight, and he literally said, like, let's get that guy a title fight. And you're right. You think, do you know what? You should get a title fight. You deserved it. And so he would, because Andre Harrison fought Steven Seiler, and Andre Harrison, again, he got a decision win. He got a split decision win against Steven Seiler.
He's very good at what he does.
But it's not going to get into the UFC.
I mean, like,
he has to finish fights.
He may well end up in the UFC one day, but
I can't see it happening.
He needs to start finding a way of finishing.
I'm going to say
I rate him.
Look,
he's a nice guy, and he's fighting. He's very good at what he does.
Look, he beat another guy, ex-UFC guy. He's beat another one. But the problem is, I've spoke to Sean Shelby, man, and he even said himself. He said he needs to finish fights, and he does.
That's what I mean. Yeah, he's got to find a way of just getting it over with.
And he's not. Look, Grant Dawson could potentially go to the UFC straight away. If that happens, if you're Andre Harrison, you've got to sit there and go, why is he getting there? Well, you don't have to ask me. It's clear why.
Yes, sometimes you need more than a belt.
I think Andre Harrison, in my opinion, Andre Harrison needs to take more risks. He needs to take a lot more risks.
Yeah. And I mean, he knows he can fall back to it.
Yeah.
He knows it's there. It's a weapon. that you know you can take in there. Okay, I've got my wrestling, you know, I've got my grappling, and you know, okay, right. What else can I do? You know, let's try and keep it on the feet a little bit more. Let's, you know, try and.
Oh, he needs to take more risks.
You know,
you've got
for the kill.
yeah. Also, you've got Tim Elliott, who won against Pedro Nobre, who is an absolute monster.
Yeah, he looked very good.
I can see Tim Elliott maybe getting a call back up to the UFC. You know, he's doing really well.
Yeah, I think so, because the flyweight division is not very deep at all.
No, and he's gone out and he's done what he should have done. He's got a few wins under his belt. And he's performing well, and he's looking excited. He's fun to watch as well. So I'd love to see him back up in the UFC.
Yeah, I can see it happening.
And excited. Do you know what? A surprise. Do you know what? Kudos to the guy. And Anderson dos Santos stepped in because sadly Brett Johns had an injury of his shoulder, which he did tell me about, and he was going to get looked into, and then it finally got cut off.
Talk about take your chances, like.
Yeah, stepped in against Ricky Simone.
Unfortunately, though, he did lose a battle with the Scales.
Yeah, that was the problem. Yeah, so he stepped in against Ricky Simone, finished Ricky Simone with a rear naked choke, but he didn't get the title because he missed weight by what I think is 137 pounds. So he missed it by 2 pounds. He wants though to fight the next show for the belt, and he said I'll make weight, and he wants to fight like Brett John's like, look, I'll fight as well. Me and him fight for the belt, you know. And you know what? I love it, and I love it.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was like I thought Ricky Simone was going to win because in his last fight he looked formidable. You know, he looked fantastic. Yeah, I was surprised with the result. Like, no,
and you've got. And also the announcement made at the Titan FC call with Jeff Armstrong saying they're basing themselves in Florida, I think Southern Florida or something like that, for all their events. Great move. You've got ATT, Black Zillions around you. You know you're going to be stacked with guys from that card.
Sea level as well. You know.
Disneyland as well. And the thing is, he already said welterweight title's going to be on the line. Awesome.
Good.
Stoked about that. You got Belal Muhammad against was Hassan Hussein or whatever his name was from the Ultimate Fighter for Black Zillions, I think it was. They're fighting each other for the 170 belt. If you got if you had Anderson dos Santos against Brett Johns as well on that card, 2 titles straight away. That'd be awesome to watch.
Yeah.
You know, I'm loving what Titan are doing. They're sticking in one place. I like what they're doing. The potential there is huge. Can't wait to see what happens.
I tell you what, something else surprising as well. Somebody came in at short notice to fight Anthony Gutierrez.
Yes, and he won.
Got the win.
And he won, yeah. Anthony lost. I tell you what, absolutely stonking performance from, it was Novelli. No. Jason Novelli for Zach Bussier. It was So I'm thinking of a big of a vest. Soleri. How bad's that? I can't even pronounce
was it or something? Or?
But do you know what? You're right. Anthony Gutierrez. He was a favourite by a mile, and the problem was with that fight. Anthony Gutierrez tried to get into. He was brawling. He should have kept the distance in that fight, which is.
He should have kept it sweet and.
Well, if he'd kept the distance, I tell you what, it would have been a completely different fight. But the problem was, it wasn't. He tried to brawl with him, and that's what cost him that fight. It cost him because he was standing there thinking, I know, I'll stand there, I'll bang with you, and I'll get the win from it. And you're like, no, dude, you will not.
Yeah, he probably thought he was going to get himself a highlight finish, and but you know, when you get these guys coming at late replacements, they've had none of this nervous build-up or anything like that. You know, it's sometimes a fight camp, basically, it gives you 8 to 12 weeks to worry about a fight.
Solerio is, that was it. Solerio has a lot of power though. He has a lot of power, and the thing was, he was cracking Gutierrez, and he was hurting Gutierrez in that fight. And the problem now is, you've got Solerio who beat Gutierrez, poster boy for the promotion. What happens with Gutierrez now? What does he do himself?
So he's lost his last 2.
He's lost to Brett Johns, Solerio, and Wally Watson. Like, it's like, for him, I feel terrible because he's a nice guy, he's got a lot of talent, but he just somehow is just falling short on that hurdle.
Yeah. I don't know, he needs to,
It's a tough one, I don't know what he's going to do.
Reset things and...
But I tell you what, I'm looking forward to the next Titan card. I'm gonna hound Jeff. I'm gonna find out what's going down with that. Let's move on to the UK. They had FCC Full Contact Contender, which I said we had a couple of guys on last week from the promotion. It was a hell of a card, right? For UK and May, hell of a card. You had Brendan Loughnane against David Lee, and it was an incredible fight in the sense it lasted one round. Brendan Loughnane went in and absolutely smoked out David Lee, finished him with a hell of a knockout. Brendan Loughnane gets the win. You had Tim Wilde against Martin Delaney in another great UK MMA fight. Tim Wilde, first round TKO against Martin Delaney as well, which I am telling you, I did not expect both of them to get a first round finish. Not that I'm saying they weren't good enough to do it. It's just the fact that I thought
the opponents are tough.
Tough, yeah, exactly. Now, they both fought. These both fights were at 155. I was straight away on Twitter having it, and you know what? Tim Wilde was like, I was waiting for you to perk up. Tim Wilde versus Brendan Loughnane would be mega. That would be a great one then for the pair.
Yeah, good fight, and it's easily put together, you would think.
Tim Wilde wants to fight, right? Tim Wilde said it. He goes, I want to fight the best there is because I want to get up to the UFC level and etc. And Brendan, he is in that same boat. He lost in his title fight at 145 on in Bama, and he wants to get himself sorted.
And he's known to the UFC, you know, what with it coming in through the tough series.
Well, let's coincide these two guys, right, that we just mentioned, with the return of Cage Warriors on April the 15th. Cage Warriors, two guys there that I don't know if Brendan's exclusively still signed to Bama. I don't know how long his contract is, but Tim Wilde was signed at Bama as well. You could maybe have Tim Wilde and Brendan on Bama, or you can maybe shift them over to Cage Warriors, depending on what the contract is, and put them on a Cage Warriors card. I'd love that to happen, because Cage Warriors are going down on April the 15th. They're back. Absolutely stoked for this.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. You're interested to see what TV deal they get. You know, will it end up on Fight Pass?
I'm waiting for it to get announced for Fight Pass. It's going to happen. It's going to be on Fight Pass. It's just.
I hope so. Like,
it's it is. It's a matter of time.
Cage Warriors needs to be seen around the world.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very, very good production level. You know, with good fights. You know, the matchmaking on it is second to none.
Oh yeah. So look, you've got they announced a couple of fights as well for the card. The teaser fights. The Paddy Pimblett against Ashley Grimshaw. You've got the kind of
that sounds fun, that one.
New guard against the old guard. Great matchup. Darren Stewart against James Harrell in light heavyweight fight.
Yeah, Darren Stewart's still undefeated.
Awesome fight. Then also they've got a couple of other matches on. Anna Elmos against Stephanie Page. But what I liked is you got Brad Wheeler, who they've not announced his opponent yet, going to be on the card, and Jack Hermansson's going to be on the card as well. So you've got two dudes who, you know what, I think for fights alone, there is some good fights for the first card. I was surprised at the level of the first card with the guys that got back on it. I'm happy with it. I can't wait to see what happens. I'm going to pester Ian Dean shortly to get more information if I can out of him.
Well, yeah, it's
absolutely stoked.
I was talking to Ian a couple of weeks ago, and he wasn't letting anything out of the bag.
No.
I said to him, let me tell you what I think. And I was trying to read a response to that, and I wasn't getting much. But you know what? It's, you know, I'm just glad to see they're back. I don't care what happens. I'm just glad to see they're back.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
you need them back. You need them back. You need them.
Yeah, you know, not only is it good for the UK, it's good for Europe. You know, Cage Warriors was such a brilliant platform for anyone in Europe. You know, and there were a lot of fighters that went on to have great success in the UFC.
And I think
other promotions.
I think what's good as well, mate, is the timing as well of all this is Dave Allen, the former kind of head of the European and African kind of, I don't know, what do you want to call him, like of UFC in that area?
He had that district.
He resigned ages ago. He's come back, but he's signing up as one of the directors for the UK MMAF Federation, and that is a great move. You know, you got to think Dave Allen, Cage Warriors back, and you know what, in general,
Dave Allen did a really good job at the UFC. And
amazing!
When he handed in his notice, like, that was a big disappointment.
Yeah, he was the former vice president. That was it. Sorry, yeah, and he's now director of brand and commerce for the IMMAF.
well, that's good for them, because, I have every faith in him,
Yeah, absolutely huge, and that's a great thing.
It's definitely exciting times for Europe. Cage Warriors coming back, it's fantastic, and, I would say, if you're in the London area, get yourself a ticket, and if you're further afield, then still get to it, support it, because, I'm sure it hasn't been easy to get this back on the road again, and...
Graham's been putting a lot of time in, behind the scenes people
won't
know about.
Working very hard to get that, back on the scene, and
we also...
And it needs to be supported,
Mike,
supporting all cards.
But we also get the great commentary pair of Josh Palmer and Brad Wharton back as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's go on to Chris Leban. What a shame. Signs for Bellator, gets medicals done, and then he finds out that his left ventricle is oversized in his heart, and he's got a serious heart condition, and he's not allowed to fight anymore. Do you know what? There's a double-edged...
I say thank God for dodgy hearts.
Well, I was thinking it's a double-edged sword, really, because you were like... I was kind of okay with him coming back, but I was thinking... I don't know if I want to see him back after his last performance.
No, do you know what? That guy's bled enough.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Some people, it's like Sakuraba. He's bled enough.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him back.
No.
There's certain fighters I just don't want to see back anymore.
No. So
I just don't.
That's him done, and it's not a bad thing, but at the same time, I'm kind of thinking, he's out, he's gone, and now we can kind of... I don't want to say move on.
I feel sorry for him, and I hope he's financially all right, and or maybe he can do some work, by other means, within the sport.
Coach.
The guy is fun to listen to. Can he
crazy stories?
Maybe some commentating, or maybe some backstage interviewing, or something like that. Anything. He's one of those people you like to see him, and you like to hear him. And I hope that. Because that guy, seriously, he must have an itch to scratch. You know what I mean?
It's it. Well, look, that's the thing. We're talking about itches that need scratching. Look, George St. Pierre potentially fighting Nate Diaz at UFC 200.
Yeah. Clearly, that opened a few doors for him, didn't it, at the weekend?
I am not a fan of watching George St. Pierre fight again.
I tell you what, right? I'm quite lucky enough. I've seen a lot of fighters fight, and I've been at some important fights in the past and what have you. And GSP is my favourite all-time fighter, and I never got to see him fight live. But you know what? If that's the price I've got to pay for him to not come back, then so be it.
Yeah, I do not want to see him fight again. Flat out, I'm not a fan of seeing him fight again.
Everything he needs to do and more. Is he going to cement his legacy anymore by fighting again? No,
No, he wasn't
the
yet.
guy's
Why?
got money, the guy's got notoriety. He's a definite Hall of Famer 10 times over.
Yeah. There's only one fight that was ever interesting about him coming back in, and it was him and Anderson Silva. The fight should have been a super fight. It never happened.
And I think after he lost to Bisping...
Not even Bisping, just in general. After he lost to Weidman twice, that kind of spice and feel to it just gone. And I was like, do you know what? I've no interest.
You basically had, at the time they were talking about it, you had Anderson Silva and George St. Pierre blocking off number 1 and 2 in the pound-for-pound list.
Yeah.
Now the fact that they were only one weight division apart, it was doable. But the only thing was, I didn't really want to see it because you had Anderson Silva, who was at the bigger end of the middleweight division.
Yeah.
And George St. Pierre, who, he's a big middleweight, but...
I want that was a fight, but now there is no need for him to come back. I don't want to see it. My person, I also don't want to see Robbie Lawler and Nate Diaz, because people don't realise Nate Diaz hasn't got the best time at welterweight. I know Nate said it himself. He goes, I want to fight at welterweight. I don't want to fight these guys at 155, etc. He said about there's no one wants to fight, etc. Me. But the thing is, I'm not the biggest fan about Nate fighting at 170. I know he beat Conor, who was a 155er.
Yeah.
But like these guys,
his fight before that was a 145.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it might have been a welterweight, but it wasn't a welterweight fight.
No, it wasn't.
Because even if that fight was at 145, they would have still come in at around about the same weight.
Yeah. You got to think. He fought.
Because it's believed that Conor comes in around about 170 anyway.
He fought.
Claussen.
He fought Stun Gun, and he fought Rory McDonald at welterweight. He lost both of them, I think, on both of them in decisions. But the thing is, I don't want to see him fight guys again at 170. Like, you can't put him, Nate Diaz, and Robbie Lawler together. I just don't see the point. You put Robbie Lawler and Carlos Condit together is what you do.
Yeah.
Because you've already got one of the best fights of the year, Rory McDonald against Wonderboy Thompson. Now that is my word, that is that
is potentially like
no pants. That's a no pants fight. I dropped my pants. Like, that is a beautiful. That is hell. That is heaven. That fight.
Yeah, you lick your lips with that one.
Oh yes. Now
and you know what? I kind of don't mind who wins.
Well, that's the thing about it. The winner of that fight is the next guy to fight for a title, in my opinion, because Tyron Woodley has been a spoilt brat, sitting on the sideline going, nope, I'm sitting till my title shot. Look, lad, in my opinion, you have not done enough to earn yourself a title shot.
Yeah.
You beat Carlos Condit because Carlos Condit blew his knee out for a start. Fight Carlos Condit again and let's see if you win again, because I don't think you will. Fight Rory McDonald again. Rory McDonald mauled Tyron Woodley. Like, it was an absolute destruction.
Yeah, Tyron Woodley went into his shell,
just couldn't handle it.
And he kind of got the fight because of Johnny Hendricks not making weight. So he said, you'll get the title shot.
So you got to think, he lost to... He beat Josh Koscheck when he sparked out Josh Koscheck. You got to think, right? Josh Koscheck was on his way out. He was fighting his contract out. You can see he had a poor attitude. He beat Carlos Condit because Carlos blew his leg out. He got mauled by Rory McDonald. So then he beat Stun Gun with a punch to the back of the head because Stun Gun did a spinning back fist. And then he gets a split decision win over Kelvin Gastelum. And he thinks he deserves a title shot, and I'm just sitting here thinking, are you having a laugh?
Yeah, he's not... You wouldn't say he's head and shoulders above the rest.
No.
You know, that's when you can do things like that. Like, for instance, Condit got it when he beat Diaz, and then sat out and wait for...
Robbie Lawler. No, Johnny Hendricks.
GSP.
GSP, sorry, yeah. Well, it was the interim title, you see, that was why. He had the interim title.
Exactly, yeah. So, and I see why he looked brilliant in that fight against Diaz.
Yeah, he did. But you know what? I think Tyron Woodley is in a really tough spot in his career because Dana White is not going to sit there and say... He's not very much. He's not a poster boy for the UFC either. So it's not like they're keen to put him up for that title shot because they're thinking, we're not bothered. No one's that fussed. There isn't an outcry for Tyron Woodley to get the title shot. Only person is.
You know what?
Go on.
And also, at welterweight, you've got 10 guys that could all win the title.
Yeah, like you think Damian Maia. Damian Maia against Tyron Woodley.
That, you don't sit it out because people aren't saying, "Oh yeah, but he's only champion because this guy's sitting out."
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. You know, where could that happen? John Jones could do that. Do you know what I mean? It's at light heavyweight where he's sort of pretty much got that down.
I don't think Tyron Woodley realises that the UFC are forgetting about him in the sense of they're just lining up other guys to fight. They don't care about him.
And do you know what? You're only going to get somebody. You've only got to get two guys, that have stonking fights, and they'll say, right, okay, the next championship's down to the next title fights you're getting now because you just had a storming fight.
Well, it is between.
If you're on the sidelines, you're not getting a result.
Well, firstly, how do you deserve a title shot if you've been sat on the sideline? As in, what I mean is, if you get a split decision win, how do you think you deserve a title shot? Also, that fight, Mike, was back in January 2015. So I don't get this. I'm blown away. I'm like, look, I know it's not Tyron Woodley's fault that Johnny Hendricks didn't make weight, etc. I know that, but at the same time, you can't sit there and be a bitch about things. You've got to man up and say, look, I'll have the next guy then. He ain't doing that because...
who's next?
Yeah, because I feel like...
Or be the person that shit calls out the person that no one else wants to fight.
Yeah, and he's not doing it.
Say, right, okay, then give me Hector or something, you know.
Exactly. Give me Hector, give me Damian Maia, give me someone who's not got a fight booked.
Yeah, no, because no one's calling out Maia, are they? No one's calling out Hector.
No. And what he should be doing is calling them out, getting a fight in, smoking them and going, give me my title fight, but he's not.
Now I want my title. But you only have to do it to one of them.
Yeah.
You know, call out the number one, get the number one, beat them, or, you know, or just someone that's scary, like, for instance, Hector doesn't get called out. Like, who did call out Hector?
Hector called out Rory.
Yeah, but somebody called out Hector. They said they wanted to fight Hector. It was a recent fight, a really recent one.
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
Oh, was it Condit?
Honestly, I don't know.
No.
Carlos wants to rematch. Nah, that won't be him. But like that's the thing. You know, we talk about that bit where I think Woodley. I'm even sitting here thinking, look, you've not been fighting for how long? Do you not want to be paid? Do you not need money? Like, are you just?
Well, I mean, I don't know what your sponsorships are, but at the end of the day, you need to be in the front of someone's mind.
Yeah.
You need to be sort of thinking like, oh yeah, he's going to go in there and he's going to smash Robbie Lawler.
Yeah. So
it's like, for instance, after Wonderboy did so well against Hendricks, I am so interested to see what could he do against Robbie Lawler. Now, fair enough, he's got to go in there and fight Rory.
Yeah.
Which is, that's an awesome fight.
That is an awesome fight, because that is such an interesting fight, especially after Rory's last fight, which was that war with Rory McDonald.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's, and I have this new love for Rory McDonald, since... thanks again to Joe Rogan.
And he's had that time off as well. He took the right amount of time off. He's been, he's not been messing around. You got to think as well, mate. You think Stephen Thompson now is what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fight win streak. Thompson's on 6 fight win streak, and
to go out there and beat Johnny Hendricks the way he did. No one does that to Johnny Hendricks.
No, and only 2 of the fights went to decisions. And the rest of them, TKOs.
Yeah. That guy's got another level of striking.
Yeah. Oh, he has. His combinations, footworks, it's just absolutely awesome to watch.
Yeah,
Love
did Johnny actually land a strike on him?
On who, sorry?
Did Johnny Hendricks actually land a strike on Wonderboy?
Oh, I can't remember the fight. Do you know what I need to do? I need to get the fight metrics for the Conor Diaz fight. I keep forgetting to look for that, But I can't remember, mate.
It's, Conor lost. That's all that matters. It's the result. But I know what you mean, like, sometimes it is interesting to sort of see, but that's my thoughts on it anyway.
Oh, yeah,
I think...
Because even Rafael dos Anjos has said he'll fight Robbie Lawler at UFC 200 in a super fight, and I'm like, look, I don't want people... I want Carlos Condit to fight him. I don't care about this.
Yeah, I think he deserves a rematch. And so you've got Robbie and you've got Rory and Wonderboy.
Yeah,
give Carlos Condit his rematch. He deserves it, because I thought he won the fight. I don't think it was a disgusting decision, but I thought he won the fight.
Yeah.
Or maybe even... I mean, you don't want to score a draw, but...
No, ideally, no. But, it's just one of them ones where... yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's some... Do you know what? And this weekend, like I said, you've got Shamrock FC card, you've got Invicta as well. Invicta FC's on. The Fight Pass card on Friday to watch. That'll be
lady fight.
Glory, which has been signed up to Fight Pass. That's on this weekend as well.
Yeah, there was that. I don't know if you've spoken about it on one of the other ones, but obviously when Bellator dropped it, and then they brought out, was it Bellator Kickboxing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how that's going to go down. But,
Here you go, Mike. In the Conor and Diaz fight, in the striking, Conor threw 140 strikes, 61 landed.
yeah, so under half.
44% of them, mate.
Well, to be honest with you, that's kind of what you're expected to get. They say 45 is acceptable.
Diaz landed 51%. He got 150.
There you go. Above average.
152 and landed 77 significant strikes.
Mm.
And it's those stats that make me want to say to people, look, Conor McGregor, yeah, he threw a lot, but he missed 50%.
Yeah, he probably missed more in that fight than...
And they're tiring shots
fight.
he was throwing, you know. They're tiring shots he was throwing.
It was wrong, yeah. It was wrong. In hindsight, it was wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, who am I to tell Conor that he's doing the wrong thing?
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely.
You know what
I just mean for people watching...
In hindsight,
Yeah.
it was... And let's be honest, when we start to panic, everyone does the wrong thing when they panic. That's why you shouldn't panic.
Yeah.
You should never panic, you know. You should stay calm. Because you do stuff that's out of character.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Chris Wyman when he done that Chris spinning heel, you know.
Oh, don't talk about that. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, you know, I reckon there was probably an element of panic coming in there.
Look, that was just stupidity. He thought he was Vitor Belfort on juice for a minute, he did there.
Yeah.
Look, let's wrap it up there, bro. You know, I'm happy with what we've... Is there anything else you want to yap about? Any other things going on in MMA you want to talk about? I'm more than happy to, bro.
Well, I thought we could just quickly mention about the...
Crack on.
The Sakuraba and
Vanderlei
in a tag team grappling match in Japan.
Yeah.
That's arisen.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It really is. Like,
But I'm glad of it because, like I said before, I don't want to see Sakuraba take another shot. You know, any other shots. That guy's been hit too many times. He's like an anvil. You know, he's been. You know, his brain must be on his last cell, like, you know. So I don't want to see that guy get hit anymore. But if the guy wants to fight, yeah, go and grapple. I don't mind that. You know.
Yeah, grappling tournaments is what? I think it's like 46.
Yeah, but he's about 146 in fighting. You know?
Oh, no, yeah. But what I mean is, like, it's almost like the Ken Shamrock and Hoist Gracie kind of thing, you know. It's like... I don't mind if Sakuraba fights someone who's 46. Like if you put Sakuraba against Shamrock or Hoist, I would be okay with that in a fight because I know they're all a bit worn torn, so I don't mind that because. But when you put Sakuraba in against, let's say, I'm just going to do hypothetical things, right? You put Sakuraba in against, I don't know, let's say 185. Luke Rockhold. No thanks. I do not want to see a man get killed in front of me.
Yeah, well, I don't know, depends which man you're talking about. But, yeah, not Sakuraba, you know, the guy's a hero. And, yeah, you know, he's been hit enough. You know, he doesn't... But, as I said, like, if he's got a burning desire to fight, go and grapple, you know. Go and do something you can lose, you know, 3 times in a day. Yeah. And still be alright tomorrow.
Yeah, so it's April the 17th it is they're fighting on. Yeah, compete in a tag team grappling match along with a partner yet to be announced. There'll be
April the 17th. That sounds like a Sunday.
So it's Sakuraba against Hayudu Tekuro. It's just really weird. Like super weird. But
be interesting to see how it goes down. You know,
I think they've took a bit. I think they've taken a bite out of what. Remember those videos you see in Russia with the kind of tag team fights and all that stuff going on.
Yeah, but they all fight at the same time.
No. But that's what I mean. I think they've taken a bite out of that.
I think it's a little bit of the you know, the Japanese pro wrestling. It's almost like that, but they're trying to do it for real kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, let's have some professional wrestling for real.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You know, because that does really well out there, you know. They go mad for that, so, you know.
Yeah, they like the kind of...
It'll be interesting.
They like the abstract stuff.
I'd stick that out there, just to sort of say, like, you know, just when you thought Japan couldn't get any crazier, they gone and said this.
Well, that's the thing. It's crazy, but do you know what? If it works, I'm interested to see if it works. So if it does,
put it this way. It's got people talking.
well, no, it's not that. If it works,
You know.
I don't mind him doing it again. If it works,
Yeah,
I'd like to see it more often.
Oh,
I'd
it's
go,
like Matt Morris. You know, you can
Yeah.
start having these things. You know, like for instance, if Hoist Gracie and Ken Shamrock said, "Oh, we're going to fight Matt Morris," I'd be like, "That sound."
yeah,
You know, I'd get excited. I'd watch it and all sorts. If you said they're going to have a rematch in Bellator again, I'm like that. No.
well, Shamrock wants the rematch because the way it ended.
Yeah, I know he does. But as I
And
said,
do you know
I
what? Hey, look, I can't disagree with him though because of how it ended.
Yeah, but I can sort of say that I don't want to see older people get hit in the head.
Only if they're two older people, I don't mind it. That's the thing, mate. If they're around the same age.
Yeah, I know, because your shots aren't coming in as fast and...
Well, I think they're on an even keel, aren't they? Then that's the thing.
Yeah. But at the same time, I don't want to see somebody that's been taking shots all their life take more shots.
No. But
Do you know what I mean? The brain doesn't regrow. You know,
no, but they are adults, and it's their decision. That's the problem.
so every minute you spend in a striking fight is damage. You know, and there's and you can't fix that damage. Go and do a fight that doesn't damage your brain.
No. I tell you what, I'm looking forward to though. Talking about grappling, is the Polaris card coming up soon on the 2nd of April. Oh my word! Oh, good googly moogly! That is insane. What matchups they've got on there? Absolutely insane.
Oh, go on, tell me.
You got Gary Tonin and Paul Harez, Jake
That's
Shields
right, yep.
against Eugene Agzarm, and then you've got Eddie Cummins going against Augusto Quinino. What else have they got on? Who else do they
Is
have
this
on?
the Eddie Bravo one?
No, this is
Right.
Polares.
Oh, right. I was going to say, because Eddie Bravo's
No. This is in the UK. This is
that's on Fight Pass as well.
No, Mike. This is going on in the UK. This card.
All right.
Yeah. This is happening in the UK.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's awesome. That card. Like I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
that.
With Gary Tonin, you've basically got there, like, legit, like, some of the best in the world.
Well,
Gary Tonin's actually training for MMA.
You got Gary Tonin and Paul Harez, who two are leg lock masters. Like someone's gonna lose a leg.
Oh yeah.
It's scary, but it's awesome. Man, can't wait for that though. And also, you got to think next week, Bisping is taking on Chael Sonnen.
Yes, yeah, in a grappling tournament thing.
Yeah, and you've also got on that card it's a weird thing. It's a weird event, but you've also got Tank Abbott stepping in because I think Ken Shamrock in a fight. I can't remember now against Dan Severn. Or Dan Severn stepped in. Sorry, or Tank Abbott. I can't remember now how it's worked out. It's the upcoming Phoenix card. Yeah, it's a mixture of fights and grappling matches. It's weird, but it's going to be quite funky.
Do you know what? I think when you have these crossover fights and what have you, or cards, I should say, it's almost like having like the pro-am cards,
Yeah.
I'm all for it, when you go to these fights and they'll say, oh yeah, it's an MMA night, but we've also got a bit of kickboxing on the card, or we've got a bit of boxing on the card. Or
It's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it myself.
I'm alright for that.
Yeah, I'm well up for that. So yeah, I don't mind it. Bisping grappling with Sonnen. Good, yeah, crack on, do what you like. I like the idea of that.
It will be interesting.
It will be interesting, actually. It will, because I wonder if Chael's superior wrestling will prevail. That's the thing.
Exactly.
I know Mark Munoz is a coach for Bisping with the wrestling, but Chael has got that wrestling background.
Oh yeah.
And the other thing
all
is,
those years and years of wrestling, and he's got. Don't forget, he tapped Shogun as well.
but he's a monster at grappling. That's the thing. He's a beast, Chael, that people don't realise. Well, the people don't really admire enough. They don't realise how good he was at takedowns. So good at takedowns. Single leg takedowns were absolutely amazing in MMA. Like MMA single leg takedowns were one of the best. But yeah, anything else you want to talk about, bro?
I think that's pretty much us, isn't it? I think.
I'm happy with that then. That's it there, ladies and gentlemen. That's a wrap, let's say. Again, all the other guests will be on SoundCloud and YouTube. You can, like I said, you had Kevin, Josh, Coltin, Tyler, Matt, Erion and Shaun. They'll all be on. Watch them, like them, comment, share, whatever, and enjoy people. And next week, you know what's going to happen. There's going to be another one. And we hope you all enjoyed this week. We certainly did. We had a great time. And we just want to get you, before you go, jump on your social networking sites and give these people a follow. We have
MMA Scotland.
We have on Facebook UFC Wreckage. Also, their website and Twitter is MMA Wreckage.
We also have MMA UK, and their Twitter handle is We Are MMA UK.
On Facebook, we have Fighting and MMA.
And on Facebook and Twitter, we have The Real MMA Talk.
And then last but not least, on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, they're funny. They talk about MMA. It's funny MMA. Jump on. They'll give you a giggle. And let's finish off with thank you very much, everyone. We will be back very soon, won't we, Mike?
Yep, definitely. Thank you very much, and goodbye.